My Lords, immigration is constantly presented as a negative, as something to be scared of, something to be feared, and the Border Security, Asylum and Immigration Bill tries to address these fears, dealing primarily with illegal immigration, which we all unanimously want to stop. After all, 150,000 people on small boats came to the UK between 2018 and 2024, and 99% of them claim asylum. Small boats have been the predominant recorded entry method. Since 2020, 86% of irregular arrivals are from small boats. And, of course, the most recent arrivals bring the annual total to almost 15,000, up 42% this time last year, and 95% up from 2023. And, of course, we know of the more than 1,100 that arrived on Saturday. My Lords, the Channel crossing crisis has placed an enormous burden on our asylum system. National Audit Office says it's going to cost over £15 billion over 10 years. I'm a trustee of Policy Exchange, who reported the annual cost of the small boats crisis was in the region of £3.6 billion. So this is costing, there's no question about it. And Lord Sohoto spoke about the people smugglers and the traffickers that cause untold misery. 138 people have sadly died attempting to cross the Channel. And, of course, there are other methods of transport, like container lorries. And let's not forget the sad incident of the 39 Vietnamese nationals who died in a lorry in Essex. And the organised immigration crime, the OIC business model. Criminal groups are increasingly using sophisticated methods to smuggle migrants across the border, fraudulent documents, using social media, and it's appalling. And surely the good news is resetting our relationship with the European Union, particularly on security, is going to enable us to work closer and prevent these awful criminals. Lord Green pointed out net migration figure has gone from 1 million to 430,000 last year. Well, the illegal immigration, let's put this into context, is around 10% of this figure. 90% of the immigration to this country is legal immigration. And then he spoke about birth rates. Let's get real. I don't know what the Noble Lord is talking about. Our birth rates in this country are 1.44. We need a birth rate of over 2 to actually maintain our population at the moment, which is nearly 70 million. And the net migration figure was unusually high in the year ending June 2024, was driven by 2 reasons. One was a demand for workers in the health and care sector, and next was the international students' increase in numbers. And we keep including international students in net migration figures. We should remove them. Would the Noble Lord the Minister agree with this? And as a former president of the CBI, and currently as chair of the International Chamber of Commerce in the UK, I know that there are labour shortages in just about every sector of our economy. And when it comes to resetting our relationship with the European Union, I'm delighted that the Erasmus scheme has come back and giving so many opportunities to our young students to be able to travel abroad. And what about the scheme about young people moving for 3 years between the EU and the UK? Could we have some clarification on that? And the post-graduation work visa, which I worked very hard to institute in this country, 2 years post-graduation for international students, 3 years for PhD students, there's talk that this is going to come down to 18 months. This does not make sense. Could the Noble Lord the Minister clarify this? Because the Migration Advisory Committee last year reported that it is working very well as intended. And, of course, the international student figure has now gone down from 680,000 to 450,000. And, of course, the reason for this is about immigration policies, about the expense of studying over here, the cost of visas, and the value of international students, £42 billion to our economy. And far more important than that, the soft power that international students bring to this country. 25% of world leaders today have been educated in the United Kingdom. And then this perception, negative perceptions. I worked very hard on the UK-India Free Trade Agreement, which we've just agreed. It took over 3 years. And yet there was this whole focus on the national insurance waiver for 3 years, both ways between the UK and India. This is only fair, and it's to do with workers who come here on the points-based system and mostly transfer of workers between companies. And the Noble Lord, Lord Blunkett, in his excellent speech, said that everyone should have an identity card. Why don't we have an identity card system in this country? India has the Aadhaar cards, over 1 billion people, financial inclusion, digital inclusion, security. We have only 70 million people got a model. India has offered us that model. And we have no exit checks at our borders. Every other country in the world has exit checks at the borders. And then Noble Lord Blunkett spoke about integration. I'm all for integration, not assimilation, but integration, and he spoke about international students as well. My Lords, to conclude, the bad immigration which this bill is trying to address is bad, full stop. But this country has always had a reputation for fairness and justice and welcomed genuine refugees, genuine asylum seekers. And it is a good immigration that has made Great Britain great. Without the 18% ethnic minorities in this country, the UK, we would not still be the 6th largest economy in the world. I came to this country as a 19-year-old international student from India, as a Tata scholar, a Mahendra scholar, and a Setna scholar. I have had the opportunity to live the British dream. The Indian diaspora in this country is 2 million strong out of 70 million, is the largest ethnic minority community, and I say with pride, the most successful ethnic minority community in this country, reaching the top in every field, from business to academia to politics. So let us not fear immigration, but let us celebrate the good immigration this country has always benefited from and that we should be proud of and grateful for.